Hey everyone, so in this video I am going to be making a refined version of my Prince illustration. So here I have my initial sketch just to use as reference and just to clear up a little bit. So I also have some reference that I also collected on more outfits. Whoa, come on. Oh, I locked my phone, that's why. Anyways, so here I have more reference of different armors, and of course I will provide these in the whoa, sorry about that. And here I have the reference here, a reference of armor and all and the like. So this is just extra that I collected, and of course I'll be sending these in the downloadable resources for you guys to look at. So some hand poses, some also other possible poses. I wanted to add some armor, so I feel like that would be a neat thing to add. So anyways, I'm just going to be going ahead and using my tone paper now. So unfortunately I can't make a base sketch and trace on top of it because it's just too dark to see. So I'm just going to be going ahead and just drawing straight from my reference here. So I'm going to go ahead and take my pencil. Now I'm going to make this whole sheet my canvas because it's pretty much big enough to do that. In fact, this size is pretty nice to work with. So I'm just going to be drawing in my cranium, just kind of blocking in very, very lightly what I want in the character. So I'm just kind of, if you guys can't see this, which kind of sucks, I'm going to zoom in. So I'm just very, very faintly drawing what I planned in my rough sketch. Make sure to, put in the features, such as the brow line, the nose line around the halfway point, the mouth line, and the eye line, which is in between the nose and the eyebrow. So the reason why I'm starting super lightly is because once I erase, it gets a little bit messy. So I like to start very, very light. Also, it gives me some cushion room to make mistakes and erase them really, really easily later. So I'm just going to be blocking out the body. And I'm not going to be detailing at this point. I'm just wanting to block it in so that I have a good base. So maybe his chest will be down here. His arm would be facing more towards the side. So once again, you want to just add in your boxes. So once again, one hand length down from the nose, one hand length, 90 degrees for the guys, for the rib cage. If you can't see this very clearly, I'm sorry. I can't draw super dark right now. So here's his clavicle, which will be one hand length up here, one hand length up here. We have his arm. And then here we have, let's move his arm, let's move this down a little bit. So here for the base of the body. Here we have the torso area, or the abdominal area, and then the pelvis. So here is his arm. If it's around the rib cage, that's where his elbow would be. Then we have his arm. Here his other arm, just block it in really, really lightly. Because his arm is lifted up a bit, the elbow point won't be as shallow or won't be as deep as this one here. And here is his hand. Here's his other hand holding the sheath. And here is the sword. And here's the sheath that he's holding. So of course I'm using my reference. So one of the reference guide I have is here, is this one. where the hand placement is, and just lightly referencing off of that. So once I have the base, we can go ahead and, start detailing out everything else. So I want him to, actually it would be really cool if he had a helmet. So I don't think I'll add a helmet just yet. Maybe I'll add a cool crown. So here I have I'm just refining, making things a little bit darker now. So I'm adding the nose where the nose line is. I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see better. His mouth will be slightly open around the mouth line. And then his eyes will be kind of slanted. With a more more aggressive look. And I also like to add a little bit of a wrinkle, just because it just feels, it just kind of adds that bit of aggression. Other eyebrow. Of course, if you want a style guide, you can also use that as reference. If you want to, imitate or kind of reference a certain style, you can do that. I'm making him look up, so he looks more vicious that way. He's more serious. So far so good. Of course, I'm drawing more of a style that is kind of generic, but it works. So here we have also the Adam's apple, and I'm going to be blocking in the features of his body a little bit more simple. So it's not super detailed, I'm just going to be blocking in the main shapes. So here we have his neck, and then we have his trapezius. Let me go ahead and zoom out. Here's his other trapezius on the other side. And here is a little bit of his clavicle. Of course, I'm only drawing what's underneath. I'm going to be covering him in clothes later on. And if you want, you can also, block in his deltoid, his bicep, his forearm, his elbow, and his forearm, which has a little bit of a thick to thin motion to it. If you want to block out the hand, you can go ahead and draw in the palm box. Make sure that the size of the hand is almost to the size of the face, so probably about this big. So if you want, you can also measure it from down there. So here we have the palm box. Here's his thumb. And then we can draw in his knuckles. So if you want, you can draw in the index finger first, just to kind of separate between the two. And then the rest can follow along. You can also add a bit of the ridges here. Thumb should be a little bit smaller than that. So far this is what we have for the base of the body. And here we have the other arm. If you want, you can even simplify into simple rectangles. We have a deltoid on top. We have his pec protruding from underneath the deltoid. And his elbow would be a little bit bigger because it's coming towards us. So it's thicker from the back, and then as it comes towards us, it gets a little bit more thinner and as if it's going towards us. So you can also draw some motion lines to show what direction it's going. Here's his bicep. Here's his forearm. There's always going to be a little bit of a bump up here, so almost kind of like this thick versus thin look. And then we have his hand, kind of bent a little bit. So palm box, of course. And then the finger boxes. Here's our rib cage and our sartorius, not sartorius, our serratus. So it'll be kind of going down here. Here is the abdominal area. I'm basically just showing you guys what the basic body structure would look like. And here is the sword. Just I'm going to block that in. Here's a sheath facing a little bit more upward. And then his sword would be facing a little bit more up. So the hilt would be this way. Make sure it's facing in a similar direction. You don't want your sword to be coming from a different direction, or else it'll look like his sword is crooked. Here is the end of the sword. I'm just roughly drawing it in just because it's just because it doesn't need detailing right now. We're only just doing the base here. So far so good. And then we can draw in the lower region, such as his pelvis. We can have his legs at a more open position, so as if he's kind of putting a wide stance. So we have one leg going this way, straight, and then the other leg kind of going out, as if he's kind of standing more wide. So this is what he looks like, and yeah, that'll be it for this rougher sketch. I will be going ahead and refining more of these features, such as the clothes and everything and the like. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.